Lycinus was the golden son of Athens. He was young, fabulously wealthy, and possessed a sharp wit that made him the leader of every political club and symposium. He strode through the city with the unshakable certainty of a man who believed he was destined to rule. He knew he was courageous, for he had been in minor skirmishes. He knew he was wise, for his wealthy friends always applauded his speeches. He knew he was virtuous, and he felt a deep, arrogant pity for those who were not. His primary target for this pity was Socrates. He often saw the old philosopher in the Agora, the marketplace, barefoot, dressed in a single drab robe, engaging in what Lycinus considered to be a pathetic waste of time. Socrates just asked questions, surrounded by a small, unimpressive group of students, while Lycinus acted. One afternoon, flushed with praise from a recent speech and a bit of expensive wine, Lycinus decided he had seen enough. He would, as a public service, finally demonstrate the difference between his own practical, powerful wisdom and the old man's useless babbling. He gathered his entourage of fawning friends and strode confidently across the dusty square. The crowd, sensing a confrontation, grew quiet. "Socrates!" Lycinus boomed, his voice dripping with condescension. "I have come to end your pointless debates. You seek the meaning of virtue? Look no further, I will teach you. Virtue is what I am: courage, strength, wealth, and the wisdom to lead." Socrates, who had been examining a flower, looked up. His gaze was not angry or intimidated. It was calm, clear, and deeply analytical. "A generous offer, Lycinus," Socrates replied, his voice quiet but carrying. "You claim to possess courage. Since you know it so well, you must be able to teach me. What is it?" Lycinus scoffed. "That is the easiest question of all. Courage is to stand one's ground in battle and never retreat." "A fine start," Socrates said, nodding. "But tell me, what of the famed Scythian cavalry? They are known for their bravery, are they not?" "Of course," said Lycinus. "And yet, their entire tactic is to attack, feign a retreat, and then attack again when the enemy is disordered. By your definition, since they retreat, they must be cowards." Lycinus's smile faltered. "Well, no. That is different. A tactic." "So, courage is sometimes retreating?" Socrates pressed gently. "Perhaps your definition is incomplete." A murmur went through the crowd. Lycinus felt a hot flush of annoyance. "Fine. It is not just an action. It is wise endurance of the soul." "Wise endurance," Socrates mused. "So, if a doctor wisely endures a difficult surgery, that is courage? If a farmer wisely endures a long drought, is he courageous? Or are they just knowledgeable? You have defined wisdom, but perhaps not courage." Lycinus was now visibly frustrated. He had no answer. Socrates continued, his voice still gentle. "And you say you are wise. Tell me, Lycinus, do your friends agree with you because your ideas are true? Or because your father is powerful and your dinners are plentiful?" The crowd, which had once admired Lycinus, was now utterly silent, watching the young noble's face turn from red to pale. Socrates then gestured to Lycinus's soft, perfumed hands that had never known a day of hard work. "And you claim strength. But are you stronger than that stonemason over there, who has lifted marble blocks since sunrise? You have a strong body, perhaps, but he has strength. You see, you have mistaken the appearance of virtue for the thing itself." It was a total unraveling. Lycinus, who had walked in as a lion, now stood exposed as a parrot, repeating words he did not understand. He had come to teach, and he was being schooled in front of all of Athens. He looked at his fine robes, his expensive rings, and his friends, who now refused to meet his eyes. He had no witty retort, he had no argument, he had nothing. This was Lycinus's humbling. He felt a profound, burning shame, a zillet that stripped him bare. He was an empty vessel, Socrates saw the look on his face, and his tone softened from analytical to empathetic. "It is a painful thing, Lycinus, to see yourself for the first time. You came here believing you knew everything. Now you have learned the most important truth, that you know nothing. This is the first step on the path to wisdom. Know thyself." Lycinus couldn't speak. He gave a single jerky nod. His arrogance shattered, he turned his back on the crowd and walked away. He had lost his reputation in the Agora, but he had just, perhaps, found the beginning of his soul.